Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to talk about the briefing, the new major order. We'll also talk about the new Meridia planet transformation. It looks insane. There's also the new mission. There's a lot that we will be discussing. If you guys enjoy the video at any point, consider giving the video a like by clicking the thumbs up button below the video. Well, it seems like we're now going to destroy the Terminate super colony. Let's go ahead and check out the briefing here because this is what's going on over at Meridia. The time has come to eradicate the Terminate super colony completely. The Helldivers will deploy to the surface of Meridia to deploy partial payloads of dark fluid across the planet. Once a critical mass is reached, the dark fluid will accrete into a super dense mass, triggering total planetary implosion. The super colony and its hyperproductive Terminates will be destroyed. Speed is critical. Technicians at the Meridia research facility are working non-stop to convert raw dark fluid into weaponized payloads for this operation. This high output cannot be maintained for long, even with the safety and sleep protocols optimized for productivity. The destruction of an entire planet is irreversible action, one that all Super Earth citizens know is a terrible tragedy. But the tyrannical actions of the Terminates have left us no alternative. This is it, Helldivers. The fate of Galaxy is in your hands. Now, if we check out the planet here, this is what I was talking about a few days ago, or maybe it was 2 days ago actually, with the dark fluid vessel. This is it. Pretty much what's going to go on here is you're going to summon this down, or, call down the stratagem. You'll pick up this backpack of dark fluid, then you'll have to go to one of the parts on the map, obviously right here, this is the point of interest, and then you're going to have to throw down the tectonic drill, and then at that point, you throw that bad boy inside the tectonic drill, and you have to defend it. So the thing is about this is it's really difficult. The reason why I say that is because when it comes down to the defending, there is just a lot of bugs. So I would recommend a stratagem that's possibly a turret. You could also use one of the EMP turrets. One of those should be a good option just to slow down the swarm of bugs or the wave of bugs, and it just will make the situation a bit easier. Now, if your teammates are not really too good at the game, then you might actually fail the mission completely, because I've noticed that my teammates, they kind of just scattered out and went to different sections because there's 3 places that you need to use this tectonic drill and the dark fluid. But when it comes down to your teammates, that is where you're going to see a problem, because some of them may scatter to one point of interest, the other person may go to the other, and then at that point everybody's split up. So you really want to stay tight together, knit together, and just go after the objective without really sacrificing your stratagems, right? Because you only have so many. There's 10 of them, you have 10 dark fluids that you can summon down, so be very, very cautious as to what you're doing, because once it is destroyed, it's destroyed. Note that this will only happen if the dark fluid is inside of the drill, but if it's outside of the drill, like for example if you're holding it, or if you summoned it down and then maybe a charger took it out, do not worry, there shouldn't be a problem there, because at least for me, it was completely fine. But once I stuck the dark fluid inside of the drill, that is when you will notice some situations going on. Like, for example, the bugs will attack it, but if it is destroyed, like the drill itself, the whole entire thing is completely done for. So you will have to summon down some more dark fluid and then another tectonic drill. What we're going to do now is pause for just a second and check out some of the secret dialogue over at the Destroyer. If you guys do not know, if you talk to the NPCs, sometimes they will reveal certain information that's really interesting and worth just listening to. There's going to be 2 dialogues here, one that talks about the Illuminate, and then the other one's going to talk about some dark fluids. So definitely listen in and give me your thoughts afterwards.
The Illuminate basically handed us this planet-destroying super weapon. Doesn't seem too bright for a highly advanced alien. Guess that's why they're dead now. I've been thinking, E710 comes from bugs and powers our warp drives. I wonder what happens when an entire planet of bugs gets compressed into an infinitesimally small point. I've done a little reading up on the dark fluid, and it's actually pretty simple. Exotic matter with negative mass, amplifies the force of gravity, varies with local energy density, etc., etc. I won't bore you with the rest of the details, I'm sure you get it.
Get to work.
I'm a little nervous having the dark fluid aboard the ship. Apparently, there's a non-zero chance it could destroy the whole galaxy. But then again, we lose Super Earth. What hope is there for the galaxy anyway? An entire planet compressed into an infinitesimally small point? Well, that's what happens when you resist the will of managed democracy. Watch your step, Helldiver. We've got dark fluid on board now. One thing goes wrong, and we'll all be spaghettified before we know it.
What are your thoughts? Let me know what you think down below. So there is some talks about the Illuminate, and then you can tell that the lady shortly coughed afterwards. Then, you know, somewhere between the dialogue, she said something about the Illuminate being dead, and I do not believe that. I'm sure some of you do not believe it either. But this right here is interesting to me. I think it's quite interesting to find out what's going to happen after this whole super colony situation. I know some of you in the previous video have said, hey, you know, when it comes down to Meridia, if it is destroyed, this is going to trigger something. The Illuminate are going to know about it, and then this is going to cause some big problems. If that is the situation, let's do it. Bring it on. But I also know that one of the community managers, and of course he could be saying this because he does not want to reveal any information, which is, you know, obviously a good idea, but he did mention that the Illuminate are not popping up in June. But who knows? With this, there is a good possibility that it can happen. This situation is not going to look too good because we are blowing up an entire planet. And speaking of that, one of the ladies did mention that there is something odd about, you know, just condensing all these Terminates together and, you know, considering that we are using them for fuel. That in itself is going to be interesting. Is that going to cause a bigger explosion? That is a possibility. At least in my opinion, I think that is definitely a possibility. With that to the side, I do want to bring this up. If you're interested in the next update, there is a good chance that it will pop up next week. It's not going to be this week. If you guys have not seen my previous video, I have went over this information. The community manager has confirmed that the update is not going to be this week at all. So unfortunately, that is the situation. But it's better off if the developers take their time with this instead of rushing the process, because as you guys know, it does not end well. If you have played several games and you have seen, you know, these developers rush, it doesn't end well. They are not able to give us their best content, their best, you know, version of themselves, you know, when they get into the game and they, you know, develop these things. They need to really take their time and figure out the balancing, figure out what they're going to add and all this good stuff. So that is really it when it comes down to it, and I cannot wait to see what the developers do over at Arrowhead. We do know that there's a new CEO. There's also some questions that he has answered, and I have went over that in the previous video, which is well worth watching too, by the way, if you have not done so. But with all this information being said, I'm interested in your thoughts, what you think about everything that we have went over in today's video. Are you going to come back to Helldivers 2 to complete this Meridia mission, or are you guys just going to avoid it until the next update? Give me your thoughts right now down below in the comment section. I'm interested in all that, but with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the top 3 comments from the previous video. If you guys would like to speak your voice on the channel, comment down below and you might just be featured. The first comment is by Coast, and he says, I think you messed up your script in the beginning. Additionally, there's a new glitch circulating around the XO49 Emancipator mech. Not only that, but we will also discuss a new glitch circulating around the XO49 Emancipator mech. Yeah, I completely messed up, guys, but you know what happens when you are a glitch. I really am, I have to be. Continuing on with number 2, we have Jose MX4Life, and he says, it's good that the new CEO is interacting with the community. However, the balancing is the best it's ever been comment may be a bit of an overstatement, considering he did reply to a comment that ARs and the other weapons are underpowered and need buffs badly. There's also a third comment here by Albino Whale 13, and this person says, there was a motorcycle stratagem in the first game, the MC109 Hammer. It was fun. It didn't have a rear wheel. Instead, it had like a tank track in the back and a sidecar with a machine gun on it for a friend to ride with. Would love to see it come back. And with that being said, there's your top 3 comments. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.